One of my business philosophies has always been to not focus on having the cheapest prices, the lowest profit margin, just so you could get the most amount of business and so forth. My philosophy and the opposite is always focusing on how to maximize profits, how to make as much profit as possible, and most importantly, how to keep my life as simple as possible. I like to keep things simple. I don't like to work. I don't, like to work more than I have to. So I like to keep things simple, and I find that with a healthy profit margin, you can keep things simple. It was funny. I was just talking with one of my friends the other day who is in the medical commodities business. He's a fellow test strip flipper, and he's doing about twice as much business as me, flipping test strips. However, he's doing about 5 times as much work. And I know this from talking to him. He focuses on having the lowest possible prices so he gets a lot of business. So yeah, he's doing, twice as much revenue as me, but he's working significantly more. So let me ask you something. Would you rather work, 40 hours a week to make, say $2,000 a week? Or would you rather work 10 hours a week to make just $1,000 a week? Well, I can't answer that for you, but I know for me personally, I would rather just work 10 hours a week and make $1,000 a week rather than working 40 hours a week to make $2,000. And I remember I learned about this from this book that this book I read a long time ago, and it was, I remember my folks had given it to me, and it was, I'm pretty sure it was called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. There was like a series of these books, and I remember, it wasn't the greatest book in the world, but I remember the one thing that really stood out to me was about exactly this. And I remember they used an analogy and talking about how if you were like a massage therapist, a lot of people would focus on having the cheapest prices. So and how you may think hey, you're doing a just a $10 massage or something, and $10 for an hour or something, and people would be scared to raise their prices to say like $100 an hour or whatever for a massage, because people would they would lose a lot of customers. But that one person who's doing $10 massages, they would have to do 10 times as many massages to make as much as the one person who's just doing one massage for $100. Even if 7 out of 10 people say no to their offer, still the 3, they made $300 off of it, versus the other person, maybe all 10 out of 10 signed up with them, but they had to do 10 massages to make $100. You get what I'm saying? And so this is really a simple philosophy, but this is so important because, and I know a lot of times it's so tempting just to have the cheapest prices and just so that way you can get business. And but the problem is with this is that in the beginning sometimes I get you might want to do that just to get your feet in the door, but I don't even feel that it's a good idea to do that in the beginning, because what happens is you can get comfortable with that, and then all of a sudden you can get scared to raise your prices. And scared you're going to lose customers, business, and then you'll have repeat customers. They're expecting a certain thing, and it can be difficult. And that's why I feel right from the beginning, make sure you have a nice profit. And I'm like this with all my businesses. If you guys follow my channel, I have multiple businesses. Even with my drop shipping businesses, I had, a lot higher profit margins than a lot of people with my notary business. I charge a lot more than probably 90% of the notaries. People all the time call me up. What? That's your price? I could get a notary for $1 or something. I'm like, whatever. Go do it with someone else. I don't care. I get people all the time, and my prices scare them off. But guess what? A lot of people are okay with my prices, and that's the type of customers that I want anyways. I don't want the nickel and dime customers. I don't want the the ones who are just looking for the cheapest, because I'm a great businessman. So the customers that I work with love working with me. They know that I'm a pleasure to work with. I keep things simple. I'm efficient, and there's no games or anything like that. With other people, people will want to. A lot of times when people are out there bargain shopping looking for the absolute cheapest professional, then they're gonna, the service won't be as good. I get calls all the time, people who, in all the businesses, the flipping test strips, people call me up. They'll say the person didn't show up for the meeting, the appointment. They were going to meet up with them, and the person didn't show. Stop answering their phone. I get people that call me all the time because their wedding officiant canceled on them, the morning of their wedding, right? And they've had this plan for months. I don't do those types of things. So, if someone wants the cheapest person possible, then sure, and then they can expect those types of things, that to get crappy service. But me, I premium price, but you're not gonna have any of those games or anything like that. So that's what I recommend, guys. Don't focus on being the cheapest out there. Don't focus on the Walmart, being the lowest prices. Instead, if you focus on high profit, then you won't have to work as much, and you can make more money. And that's what I've figured out, that I would rather have high prices, scare off a lot of people that are too scared to, they can't afford to do business with me, but the few that can, that's great. And there's a lot of people out there with money, and I don't have to work as much as a lot of people because I have premium prices and premium rates in all my businesses. I don't market myself as the cheapest. I'm typically always even in medical commodities businesses, my prices are higher than most people. I don't market my stuff as the cheapest. And that's just what it is. But there's a lot of people out there with money, and you just have to present it and know that it's all good, because maybe you will get a lot of people that your prices will be too high for them, but the few that will be happy with it, they'll get a lot of those they'll just accept the prices as they are, and then you won't have to work as much. So be smart, guys. Don't work harder, work smarter.